Hi there, and welcome to another episode of The Creative Writer. Today we are going to talk about side characters, and this is going to be just a rough scratch. So if you want to hear more about this topic, request me to do so, and I will. So all my information is, by the way, in the episode description as always. But yeah, you can subscribe to my mailing list and see my Instagram and so on. But let's get on to the topic. So side characters, and there are actually many types of side characters. You can have villain side characters, you can have good guy side characters, you can have, I don't know, your main character's best friend, family. The possibilities are endless as always with writing. So your side characters, let me just be clear. Your side characters can be either, good, bad, or grey. I think. White, black, or grey. And I'm not talking about skin color, by the way. So, they can be, the villain. Just make sure, if they are like 100% villain, make sure they don't fall flat. Because that can happen when you are trying to make your character like absolutely evil or absolutely good. You don't want your characters to be flat. They should still be real, and great characters usually are the ones that feel most real to the readers. But I understand that most of your side characters can't be great characters, or they can be, but in some stories at least, but maybe not in yours. So let's start with villain side characters. I feel like most villain side characters are usually in the background. They're not in like this huge role in the story, and then they can fall flat. But if they are mentioned like here and there, and they don't really need to be seen more than that, maybe they can be flat, because you don't want your story. Sorry, that's an airplane, by the way. If you can hear it in the background, I'm so sorry. I unfortunately can't control the airplanes. Or maybe it's a helicopter. Not sure. Let's move on. So, villain side characters, I was talking about that. Yeah. So, as I was saying, all your side characters don't have to be in big parts, and they can fall flat sometimes. If they're mentioned only a few times in the story, for example, I don't see why you should flesh them out, because the reader doesn't need to know them that well. So, find that balance. But if your side character is like a central side character, even if it's a villain, a good guy, a great guy, or whatever, or girl, or anything, if they are central to the story, then you should, you should like flesh them out. Like, don't let them fall flat, make them round. And what I mean by that, make them like complex, real characters that have like their own personalities, own goals, and so on. Sometimes their goals might even not fit in with the main character's goals, and that usually makes them the villain side character. So, your villain side characters, make sure, if they are in like the central part, make sure they are not like pure evil, because no one is pure evil. But you don't have to exactly make them grey, but give them like some reason to why they are so evil, if they are central to the story. And then let's move on to the good guys, to the opposite side. So good characters, good side characters, like, I don't know, perhaps your main character's best friend or family member or something, relative, cousin, anything, friend, if they are central, once again, you shouldn't let them fall flat, even if they are side characters. But if they are mentioned like, I don't know, 5 times in the story, maybe you don't need them to be that fleshed out. I don't see the point in building characters that are only mentioned like here and there. But if they are central to the story, definitely build that character. These flat characters are kind of boring, and your readers aren't going to enjoy them. And even your side characters should be something your readers enjoy. In fact, some readers enjoy side characters more than main characters. I'm not that type of reader, usually. perhaps with some stories, but I'm not that type of reader usually. But I know that even with my soon to be published book, some people enjoyed the side characters more than the main character. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I know plenty of people who, even with like Harry Potter, enjoy the side characters more than they enjoy, Harry Potter. So, you will want to have likable side characters, but also perhaps there should be, depending on your story of course, there could be grey side characters too. So they're not evil or good. But even if they are evil or good, make sure that they are still fleshed out. They have their reasons, their goals, their motivations, personalities, all that. Because even they are characters. They are just as, you and your best friend, or you and your sister or brother or mother are just as much human as, anyone else. So, your characters should be treated equally as human. Real humans with personalities and so on. So, but you can do that in the editing phase too if it feels too hard to focus on that on the first draft. And what helps with building like real relatable characters from the beginning is knowing your characters before you even begin writing. And I actually have something that might help with that. If you subscribe to my mailing list, you will get 99 questions to ask your characters. They're not your usual, like, what is your favorite color? Although I'm not sure if that's in there too, but they're more complex questions, more deep questions that will help you know your characters, even your side characters. So if you're having trouble with a character, make sure you check that out, because that will help you a ton. But yeah, then to the grey side characters. They are usually not good, not bad, but they are usually on other side. If you have like the enemy side and the good side, then they're usually still on one of the sides. Not always, but so even if they are, like, for example, let's say they are on the good side, but they make some questionable things, like killing someone or something, there should be a very good reason as to why they are doing that if they're on the good side and they want to remain or will remain on the good side. So and then on the other hand, perhaps your enemies aren't that bad. Perhaps they are actually revenging, I don't know, their family's death or something. So people aren't evil or good, like, totally. So keep that in mind when you're building these characters. And I actually, at this point, I'm gonna say I recommend building great side characters, even though a good side character is, they're nice, and so are like pure evil side characters. But actually, don't do the stereotype evil bitch enemy girl side character. The kind that is in all of the cartoons. That's too like cliche. We've seen it too many times and it's not real. It doesn't feel real. So yeah. So build your characters. I think they should be a little bit gray. Just a little bit. No one is pure good or pure evil, but you know your characters best. And what's most important in writing side characters is knowing their motivations, their personalities, and all that. Because that helps you build the character. Even if they are not the main character, they're not the hero of the story or the villain of the story, they should still be real. They are still real humans, or maybe they're fae or elves, or I don't know, something. But usually the characters are human-like creatures. That sounded weird. But yeah. As I was saying, make your characters feel real, even if they're side characters. Your side characters require attention just as much as your main character, especially the central ones. And I know if they are like characters who are mentioned 5 times in the story, don't waste your time on them, because your reader isn't going to care. They are not going to hear about that character too much. And actually, if you make a small side character too likable, your readers are going to be like, where did she go? I want to hear more about her. And then she isn't in the story and they're going to be so disappointed. So don't give like false hope. And yeah, I think this is actually it for now. But I could go like in more detail about like good side characters, grey side characters, or evil side characters. So yeah, just ask me to do that and I will. And I'm just going to remind you, you can subscribe to my mailing list through the link in the episode description. So yeah, definitely check that out because it's going to help you so much with building characters. Real, relatable characters. You are going to get to know your characters so you can write them well. Even before you start writing your first draft. Or you can also do it in the middle of any draft. It's never too late to start. And I hope you are having fun writing. Please send me feedback, comments, anything. I love to hear from you. And thank you so much for the past feedback. And yeah, I hope I see you in the next episode. Happy writing. Goodbye, creatives.